I just have to smile, right? So, good morning and welcome to another episode of Good Fat Life. And it is a good fat life, right?
It is.
There's a lot of cool things happening in amidst the swirl of the world we live in. And my guest today is Emily Stone, and from Empowered Bumps Boobs. And she is going to talk to us about breast care, breast awareness month this month. Mm-hmm. Who knew, right? Mm-hmm. And all things kind of surrounding that. Mm-hmm. It's like it's so cool, the work that you do, Emily. And so welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us, where do you want to start?
Sure. So August is National Breastfeeding Month. And babies are born every day. Babies need to breastfeed every day. But we take August to focus on specifically like the policies and practices that impact the success of breastfeeding in our country. For example, even just thinking about when moms return to work, her experience from her employer and her coworkers and her manager can make or break whether she's able to continue her breastfeeding journey or it gets cut short before she wanted to. So August in particular is a time that we shine a light on some of these issues and advocate for moms and babies who want to continue breastfeeding.
Wow. So I was just, as you're talking, I was just thinking, yeah, I had to carry that, it was about this big, it was heavy, mm-hmm. and schedule your day around it. And when I traveled, oh my gosh, it was an experience. Yeah.
But you must have had an employer that was supportive enough that you could find a way to make it work for you.
I did. Mm-hmm. I did. I have to say they were great.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that the facility was designed for it, mm-hmm. but it was kind of a huge company, and they were accommodating.
Mm-hmm. And nowadays, we have laws in place that employers are required to provide reasonable accommodation for moms who are breastfeeding. How that gets implemented looks different from place to place, but I do think there's a growing awareness and support. And the smart employers know to retain that valuable employee, because who works harder than like a mom? You want to hang on to that employee. So, the part of their life where they're needing to take breaks to pump or have a refrigerator to store milk, it's probably a year, and if you retain that employee long term, it was definitely worth supporting them through that.
Well, and you're right about that. The when you feel supported, right, you work your butt off.
Oh yeah.
You'll jump through hoops to do whatever needs to be done for your employer.
Yeah, everybody wants to be successful.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So, what does a policy look like? What's that mean?
In terms of like at the workplace, I think it would be, that we have a space for you, that there's a lock on the door, that there's a way to reserve the room, that it's a comfortable space. The worst case scenario, and I think some of us can even picture this, is like having to go into the bathroom stall and pump. Like that is so antiquated and outdated.
That was my scenario.
Yeah.
Right?
Is right. That where you would want to eat your lunch?
No.
So,
no.
And then in terms of policy, like at the federal level, the dream scenario would be paid maternity leave, because then moms don't have to go back to work so quickly. Breastfeeding success, it's much easier to get off to a strong start and keep a strong start if mom and baby don't have to be separated very much. For breast supply to work as intended, there needs to be tons and tons of skin-to-skin contact between mom and baby, regular nursing sessions like every 2 to 3 hours, especially at first. And so if we have policies that give mom the financial flexibility to be able to stay with baby longer, it would have profound impacts on breastfeeding rates. And again, it's a small investment for a small amount of time when you think about the potential positives that it can bring.
Long term.
Yeah.
Right. So how has working at home impacted this?
It helps a little. So I know some moms who they'll have someone provide childcare in the home, and then they're working out of a home office. So then they can at least have baby brought to them for nursing sessions, or they're pumping in the comfort of their own home. The milk goes right in their own fridge. So it's helpful. It's a lot harder when you're working out of the house to keep that pumping going. And so that's something that employers can consider. Mom doesn't want to just work from home for no reason. This would dramatically impact her relationship with the baby, her breastfeeding success, and her overall stress levels and life. So luckily, we've seen a trend towards more work from home post-COVID. When I had a baby in 2012, my employer was awesome, except they had like a zero tolerance work from home policy, even though I could have been a really effective employee working from home or even some sort of a hybrid schedule. So I left because my priority at that moment was to be home, with baby and spend more time with him. So it's a bummer. They lost a good employee because they didn't have work from home policies.
Right. Well, I'm happy because we gained you as a freelance doing amazing work, right? For some other projects that we work on. So tell me about the things you've got coming up. What are your classes? And you've got some really cool workshops and events.
Yes.
So talk about that.
I'm so excited. So I always have available an online course called Empowered Breastfeeding Bootcamp, and that's accessible at empoweredbumpsandboobs.com. So I have taken my 15 years of experience in designing online courses, online learning experiences, knowing how adults learn, plus my expertise in breastfeeding. I'm a certified breastfeeding counselor. And I've combined that into, I'll just pat myself on the back, like the best online course that you could take about breastfeeding. And I say that because some of the alternatives are you go in person for like 2 or 3 hours and get this, fire hose information dump when you're still pregnant and can't even implement the skills that you're learning about. And what happens? Because you forget.
Right, because it's so different before baby than after baby.
Yes.
Right?
So my approach is definitely take my course while you're still pregnant, because this gives you background information about how things are supposed to go, what you can put in place now to set yourself up for success, what to expect, what to talk to your partner about so you're on the same page about things. And then it exists online. So when baby's here and you're like, well, what did she say about latching? You just go back and rewatch the video. You still have access. It wasn't that one-time class at the hospital that you now can't even find like the handout that you got in the folder.
So then you can just go back and if you have a question about latching or whatever, and it's all right there.
And I have a space in there to ask me questions.
Okay.
So as things come up, you can always ask questions and get a response from me. And then I am partnering with a local lactation consultant, Carrie, who we both know.
Right.
And Carrie has 30 years of experience as a holistic IBCLC. She is a wealth of knowledge. I'm learning from her all the time. And so we're working to put together an in-person course, because some people do like that experience of being in person. You can ask us questions in real time, but then you'll also still have access to the online course. So you kind of get best of both worlds. And for anyone in the local Brighton, greater Brighton area, we'll be offering our class here, in person, in tandem with the online resources. And then something I'm really excited about, like this is a dream so many years in the making. I am going to be launching a brick-and-mortar one-stop shop for holistic maternal care, meaning preconception. So everything from like nutrition counseling to increase your chances of conceiving, all the way through postpartum support. So like pelvic floor physical therapy, lactation services, mom support groups, mom and baby classes, everything in between, prenatal yoga, Webster Technique chiropractor, which is encouraging for, labor preparation. I'm getting certified as a hypnobirthing instructor. So I'll be offering those types of classes. That's something I'm really passionate about. And this doesn't exist yet. And I've been gathering partners who share this vision that the experience can be so much better than it currently is. The standard medical model of prenatal care just leaves so many gaps. Anyone who's been through it, it's not just a medical process. It's spiritual, it's mental, it's emotional, it's your relationships. And so myself and my like-minded colleagues, that's the type of environment we're going to create, where we support the whole mom in her journey.
Oh my gosh.
So stay tuned for lots more.
I'm just like trying to process this. Excuse me. And is this going to be brick and mortar? You're going to have a space?
Yes. I mean, I'm going to continue all my work in the digital space, because then I can reach, anyone, anywhere. But we need a brick and mortar space. And also because it's so fragmented right now. Maybe you do go to prenatal yoga and you have a chiropractor and you reach out to a lactation consultant. Those are 3 completely separate people in 3 completely separate probably buildings.
Right.
And
or towns or cities. It could be all over the place.
Right. Like the onus is on you to like figure all this out. No, we're going to put everybody in one spot. And even if we don't have what you need, we know who to refer you to. So it really is like a concierge service. We'll help you get your answers.
Oh my gosh. I was just thinking, so one of the things that I loved about just the services that you have available right now, even before your brick and mortar, is to gift certificate.
Yes.
So it was just so cool when one of my dear people, moms to be,
Yep.
to be able to give her the gift of your service, right?
Yes.
She didn't need another. I mean, you can always use adorable onesies, but this was something, that she didn't have, and people don't know about. But it really made a big difference for her.
Yeah. She felt really seen by that gift because a lot of focus is on baby because they're so cute and they're new and you buy all the cute things. But mom is the one going through this huge life transition. And so any way that you can support her, and the gift of breastfeeding education and support really says, like, I see you, mom, and I want to support you in this big change that you're going through. So that it is a beautiful gift. I've been able to gift my course to cousins, which has been so lovely. Like, I mean, saves
Right.
me any decision making. It's like someone's having a baby, I know exactly what to get them.
Well, I mean, but I do too now. So, right? It's I like to make, because I'm a big knitter. I like to make a baby blanket or a sweater or something that makes my heart sing for the baby. But you're right, for mom, and it is a big deal.
Yeah.
It is a really big deal, and to have that kind of support is such a gift.
Yep.
And I'll still never forget that. I don't want to say shock and awe, or just that after baby gets here, you're like, oh my gosh, this is not at all like I thought it was going to be, or like you see in the movies, because it's just so different. And it's not that it's bad. It's just that you're so unprepared for all of those differences. And who do you ask? And your emotions are a mess and you're exhausted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it's not like you're going to learn everything ahead of time. What you can cultivate is practicing tapping into listening to your intuition, surrounding yourself with people you trust and, good resources. So then when things come up, when baby's here, you have a support system and you've learned to like tune in and listen to what your body and your intuition are telling you to do, because that's probably one of the biggest things I see is a general lack of maybe self-trust, or am I enough? Am I doing a good enough job? Am I making enough milk? That's a very common one. And so if during pregnancy you can start to learn to like trust yourself, trust your mommy instincts, that's going to serve you well once baby comes and all the unexpected things happen, because there's no way to prepare for that.
Right. Well, and then also going back to the whole premise of Good Fat Life, right? It's really about the tools to create the life that you want.
Yes.
And so if you have that, as I'm hearing you talk, I'm just thinking, if you're having those tools for self-care, how to care for you, how to care for baby, but ultimately how to care for baby is self-care for yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
And they've proven that. I don't know the exact research, but the takeaway was the biggest determinant of the baby's mental health is the mom's mental health.
Sure.
Like, mom has to be okay. And I know this intuitively from my own life, but it's not selfish to take care of yourself as mom. It is actually the best thing you can do for your children.
Right. So I was, we were talking about the art of receiving. So I just really come from the not adjective. I'm losing the word. The added or whatever that we receive to give, not give to receive. We're always taught give to receive, but
Right.
really we receive to give. Because if our cup is full and we're it's like the oxygen mask, right? It always goes back to that, is if we're well cared for, we have this abundance to give regardless of the circumstances.
Yes, that's very true. Very true for moms for sure.
Right. And because as moms, there's circumstances that pop up, all day long. And I don't care how old your kids are, right? All day long. And so if we have the resources from our self-care practices to be grounded and to have tools to support, then we can support them.
Yep.
Right. If mom's okay, baby's okay.
Yeah, we're the flight attendant on the flight.
Right.
They're looking to us to see if everything's okay.
If everything's okay. So I just love it. I just love the work that you're doing and the service. And oh my gosh. And don't you have a book?
Yes, I was
So-
going to say, we
yeah.
just sort of segued into my book. So my book is called Calm Your Tits, 20 Strategies to Soothe Your Nervous System for a Better Birth, Breastfeeding, and New Baby Experience. And our nervous systems are so cool. They are scanning our environment, I forget what it is, like at a crazy rate, I don't know, 5 times a second or something, to detect threats because it's trying to keep us alive. But sometimes we detect, false threats, and that sends us into this fight or flight. In any case, being in a fight or flight state during your labor, your birth, or your breastfeeding, or when you're trying to take care of your baby is the worst thing because it shuts down all of the natural processes and hormones that we need to do those things. And so my book teaches strategies to keep you in that calm parasympathetic state to allow your body to do what it's supposed to do during labor, when you're breastfeeding. And when we are regulated, when our nervous system is calm, it signals to our children that their nervous system can be calm right now too. If you've ever had a toddler, you have dealt with dysregulated nervous system, and it's very easy to sort of feed into their frenzy. They activate you, you get upset, it sort of
Right.
escalates. And so I'm teaching de-escalation strategies for your own nervous system, and that can have a profound impact on your children's nervous system and their ability to find calm when they are in a heightened state.
Wow. So, but my guess is those strategies would work regardless. If there's
Honestly,
a toddler around or
it's
you're in
like-
traffic or you're,
I'm scared to say there's like a magic bullet to parenting because I have 3 boys. There's no magic bullet. But if there were, being able to regulate your own nervous system is that magic bullet. Nothing good is going to come if you don't have the tools to take care of yourself and to find your own state of calm when you need to. It translates, before you. Actually, it helps with, fertility. It's hard to get pregnant when your body's in a chronic state of stress. It helps with pregnancy, birth, breastfeeding, toddlers, teenagers, and beyond. So it's like learn the skills now and continue to practice them for life, and it will pay dividends, and you'll have a more peaceful life and be less reactive in general and more proactive and calm.
I like to say curious.
Curious, for
Less
sure.
reactive and more curious.
That's
It's
something
like,
I think I feel like I've had multiple therapists that were like, lead with curiosity.
lead with curiosity
Yeah.
because it really does make a difference. It changes everything.
It does.
It immediately changes everything.
Yes.
So, cool. So you've got lots of really amazing things to talk about and support. And yeah, babies are born every day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Babies are born every day, but the truth is most of the moms I talk to are not super happy with how their birth went and or their breastfeeding experience and or other aspects of how they or the baby was taken care of during that time. So that's why there's so much work to do. If everything was going smoothly, I wouldn't have a job, but there's a lot of room for improvement. And, it is such a transformational time that it sticks with people for a while. I talked to someone who, has teenagers now. They still remember their traumatic birth. They still remember that their breastfeeding experience was cut short for one reason or another, and they're like still kind of resentful about it. So if I can help reduce that experience for future moms, that seems like a really worthy pursuit.
you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right because it sticks with you. It's These are not like, it's not like something just insignificant like a birthday party or something that went
Right.
bad. It's just
Right.
It's a big deal. So on that happy note, I invite you to check out empoweredbumpsandboobs.com.
Yep.
And we will have all of Emily's information in the show notes. And also, you've got to check out goodfatlife.com. We have a new magazine, and it's full of wonderful things. And because we spend a lot of time and energy curating our content to be sure that it's something that you care about, we listen to what our readers are looking for. And I would also like to take a little moment and do a little messaging on One of the ways I take care of myself is with my chiropractic care at Hands on Health Chiropractic. And Dr. Adam Rushford is my chiropractor. He's amazing. But like you, it's not just about going in and getting adjusted. It's like, what tools are you using, to live your best life? Mm-hmm. And it really makes a difference. And I will guarantee that you, even if you feel relatively good walking into their office, you will feel amazing walking out of the office, because the office just has an energy that is so supportive of you, your overall health and well-being and self-care. So, and they have nutrition services and massage and all kinds of things to support the chiropractic service. So check them out, Hands on Health Chiropractic. So what's next?
I mean, I got to get to work. I got to finish writing this book. I got to plan the in-person course. And I'm actually in the works of finding a space and funding to bring Whole Mama Collective to life in Brighton, Michigan very soon.
Whole Mama Collective. Mm-hmm. That is so cool. Well, you definitely are doing some amazing things. And you know that every kid that you impact, right? Every family that you impact is one more family that's doing well. And living their good fat life. And the things that you're talking about, those are life skills, mm-hmm. right? They don't just stop when baby's born or goes to high school.
Right. That's when the real fun begins. I'm sort of learning.
Yeah. As one of my friends says, the warranty never wears out, right?
Like it.
Yeah, it's great. So, okay. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Sherri.
All righty. Be well. All right. So go out and live your good fat life.